Coming up next at 8.
Cops, crowds, chaos. A popular South Beach club evacuated after a stabbing on what has otherwise been peaceful Memorial Day celebrations.
A Broward County man behind bars accused of the unthinkable, tossing a toddler across a car.
Divers expected back on the scene this morning in Oklahoma after a barge barrels into a bridge, sending cars into the water below.
Then, concert chaos as frenzied fans let the party get out of hand, leaving many fearing for their lives.
It is Monday, May 27th. Good morning, everyone. I'm Christine Cruz.
And I'm Charles Belay. The day's big stories right here, right now, from the Plex.
Live from the news station. This is Today in Florida.
A sunny start to the Memorial Day holiday.
A few scattered showers overnight, Chris, but looks like it's making way for clearer conditions this Monday, this holiday Monday. And we're going to check in on all the big stories in a moment after check on the forecast.
Jackie Johnson standing by with that. Hi, Jackie.
Good morning, Christine. And yes, it is nice out there this morning. So if you want to head outdoors today, the best time to do it will be into the morning hours, late this afternoon, into the evening hours. I think that's when we're going to see our clouds increase and a chance for a few scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. 77 degrees in both Fort Lauderdale and Miami. Humidity at 77%. Also, winds are to the east around 10. It is going to be windy out there once again today, and that is why we're going to see rough conditions on the waters and the possibility of rip currents, those east winds pulling in a few showers from the ocean waters. More where that came from, because today expect to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms. We'll talk more about it in your full forecast coming up.
Time now for 7 traffic.
And we're taking a look at 595. A little more traffic now on the eastbound side, but still a very good go. 16 minutes from I-75 to 95. Traveling along 95 here in northern Broward County, you can see how clear it is. Just wonderful for anyone heading anywhere this morning. Meanwhile, on the Palmetto southbound, normally a congested point. Look at that. No backup at all. At this point of the morning, normally we'd be backed up to Miami Lakes, and certainly is not the case. And for folks on the Dolphin eastbound, it looks very good as it joins up with the Palmetto. Southbound, Don Shula still dealing with an accident just south of the Palmetto. I'm Brian Freeman, 7 Traffic, back with another update in 15 minutes.
It is now 8:02, a stabbing this morning at a popular Miami Beach nightclub.
That's right, the incident forcing evacuations and results in arrests. 7's Rosh Lowe is live with the details for us. He's picking it up from Miami Beach. Right, Rosh?
That's right. You can actually call this the calm between storms. Officers getting some rest before the next round of partying expected later this afternoon. Washington Avenue pretty wide open right now. Wasn't the case a couple of hours ago. This street absolutely packed, and as we mentioned, there was a stabbing at club level. The club was evacuated. The victim taken to JMH, where he is listed right now in good condition.
There was cops everywhere.
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 A show of force by Miami Beach police. A night at club level disrupted. The ambulance, the arrest, people rushed out of the club, a stabbing. A scene like this does not overshadow the fact that the increased preparation by Miami Beach police has led to a calmer Memorial Day weekend.
Well, because it's organized. Anytime you don't have anything organized, you have a chaotic situation.
Last year, in total, 211 arrests. This year, so far, just under 70. And sure, there are still images of the arrests, the stabbing, but the 400 police officers working in the streets, maintaining control, a presence for all to see and hear. Well, if you come out to South Beach tonight, you will see this show of force quite interesting. About every 15 minutes or so, you will see about 30 police cars just driving down Washington Avenue, their sirens on, reminding everyone, everywhere you look, there'll be an officer. We are live on South Beach, Rosh Lowe, today in Florida.
Also on Today in Florida, a runaway barge slamming into a busy bridge, sending cars careening into the water below. The deadly collapse bringing down part of a bridge along a major interstate. It happened in the town of Webbers Falls in eastern Oklahoma. Delane Matthew is in the Plex now with the details. Delane.
Well, Christine, rescue workers pulling 3 bodies from the Arkansas River so far, and they are expected again on the scene this morning. A barge knocking out a 600-foot section of this bridge along Interstate 40 over the river early yesterday. Witnesses say 7 to 9 vehicles were sent over the edge, plummeting some 65 feet into the river.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty sickening. There's a lot of people in the water. There's debris, baby diapers, car seats up and down this side of the embankment. It's pretty nasty.
Only 5 people were pulled from the river alive, and authorities have given up hope of finding anyone else alive.
People at the bridge tell me they have seen people in the cars in the water, and those people, unfortunately, have not survived.
Authorities are still trying to figure out what caused the barge to slam into the bridge. Investigators wasting no time in interviewing the captain, who was taken to the hospital.
Apparently, he suffered a seizure or something behind the wheel, because the captain was in charge of the barge when the accident occurred.
Oklahoma Governor Frank Keating toured the accident site yesterday and, along with about 50 rescue workers, said a prayer for the missing.
A very sad day for this Memorial Day weekend here in Oklahoma.
The governor says that Interstate 40 has been rerouted and the bridge will take at least 6 months to rebuild. And as we said, divers will continue their task this morning of searching for more bodies, and they say they expect to find up to 12 other victims still trapped in their submerged vehicles. In the Newsplex, I'm Delane Matthew, today in Florida.
6 minutes after the 8 o'clock hour now, and gunfire ripping through a hotel in Homestead, leaving 1 man in the hospital. It happened at the Inn of Homestead along Homestead Boulevard. 4 construction workers robbed by 2 men. 1 worker was shot in the abdomen. The others took off after the suspects, stopping one of them. The victim airlifted to Jackson Memorial. He is now in serious condition. Another suspect remains on the run.
A Fort Lauderdale man in jail accused of child abuse. The suspect, 27-year-old Francisco Martinez. Police say he was upset. His 1-year-old had climbed onto his leg, so he tossed him onto the passenger seat of his SUV. The truck's door was open. The child bounced off the seat and fell right onto the street. It happened in the parking lot of the Fairfield Park Apartments along Davie Boulevard. The toddler landing on his head, taken to Broward General Medical Center, where he was treated and released. Martinez was arrested on a felony child abuse charge. He is being held by the INS because of his immigration status.
A sky marshal delaying a flight at Miami International Airport yesterday. The man suddenly realizing he had no idea where he put his gun. Passengers on board his flight were evacuated while police and crew members looked for that gun.
We were already on the plane. People are on the plane. He comes running by everybody else and tried to find something. From what I hear, just rumor that it was a gun.
Turns out the air marshal had left his gun in his checked luggage. The passengers were all put on different flights.
An American Airlines flight at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport delayed after hazardous materials crews are called to the scene. Officials spotting a package leaking a strange substance. Fire crews determining the substance was not harmful. The flight heading to its final destination an hour and a half later.
Drivers using Interstate I-95 in Fort Lauderdale forced to use alternate routes when a suspicious package is left on the road near the airport. The entire area shut down and evacuated yesterday, so law enforcement officials could move in and investigate.
The way that it was situated against the pylon or the support of the overpass was very suspicious, and that's why, of course, you have to treat every instance with the utmost caution to protect the public and the folks that are responding to it.
When officials got to it, they discovered it was just an empty box somebody left sitting on the side of the road, and after some time, FHP reopened the lanes without incident.
On the war front, an anonymous government source saying the FAA advised airlines more than 3 years ago of the possibility of terrorist attacks. Between January and August of 2001, the FAA issued 15 advisories. Those advisories warned airlines to be on a high degree of alert against possible hijackings by associates of Osama bin Laden. Law enforcement agents warning the country as terrorist threats continue during Memorial Day. Officials keeping an eye out, especially in New York City. The NYPD increasing its patrols at landmarks and public places over the holiday weekend because of the recent terrorist warnings. So far, though, there have been no problems. The tattered American flag found in the ruins of the World Trade Center making its way back to the Big Apple. The flag was carried by both U.S. Marines and members of New York's Emergency Service Unit in a special ceremony. The flag returning from Afghanistan, where it flew over the captured Kandahar airport. And no word yet on where the flag will be placed now.
8 minutes after the hour now in the West Bank, the Israeli army raiding the town of Bethlehem last night. Troops hunting for suspected Palestinian militants. They have imposed a curfew on tens of thousands of Palestinians. This is the second incursion into the area in 2 days. The city had been under Israeli control for nearly 6 weeks during the previous offensive. Troops also moving in on another Palestinian area, this time troops surrounding the town of Qalqilia over the weekend. A 55-year-old Palestinian man was killed by Israeli gunfire. Israel has taken control of both towns a number of times in the past 20 months of conflict, holding the residents to search for militants.
The time now is 8:10 and time for a look at some of the other stories expected to make news today. Miami International Airport has new rules for protecting passengers. A big day in court for a major player in the Enron scandal. But first, Memorial Day celebrations take a serious note with a moment of remembrance.
President Bush asking for all traditional Memorial Day celebrations to be put on hold for just a moment this afternoon. At 3 o'clock, the president is calling for all Americans to honor a moment of remembrance. It is meant to salute those who died September 11th, along with all the others who've given their lives in service to our country. Mr. Bush says that while enjoying our freedom is important, we have to remember the real reason for Memorial Day, the people who paid for that freedom. Arthur Andersen will get a chance today to tell its side of the story in the Enron scandal. The accounting firm is facing charges of obstruction of justice for allegedly shredding documents relating to the Enron case. Prosecutors are expected to rest their case with their 18th and final witness. The defense plans to argue the firm did not realize it was breaking any laws by destroying those documents. Miami International Airport and the INS will begin new security procedures for foreign passengers today. From now on, international passengers who are only stopping in the U.S. to make a connection will have to go through a special screening process, then wait in secure areas until they are ready to board their next flight. Airlines will also have to transmit certain information about their passengers to security personnel ahead of their arrival.
And for the latest news, you can log on with us anytime at WSVN.com or join us for 7 News first at 5. And there are several holiday closings to tell you about this morning. All schools, government buildings, and banks are closed for the day. Also, there will be no mail delivery today.
The Newsplex just getting started this morning, still to come. Musical mayhem as fans rush the stage, crushing crowd members at a weekend concert. We will tell you what's behind it all.
A house bursting into a ball of flames. What happened to the family who called the place home?
And homes in jeopardy. Fast-moving flames forcing hundreds to flee, hoping to avoid a dangerous line of fire.
We're starting off the morning very nice. We've got a little bit of a breeze out there, a few low clouds, but we are seeing some sunshine. Later on today might be a different story. We'll take a look at it all in your full forecast coming up next.
You're watching Today in Florida, South Florida's early morning news leader.
7 News, brought to you in part by Bears. For better lifestyle, wear Bears.
Time now for 7 traffic.
A quick look at I-95 and Griffin Road. As you can see, if there's any day you want to have to head out on the road, today is a day. Obviously, because it's Memorial Day, traffic is very light, but we will keep following the situation for you on the roadways. Another traffic update for you in 15 minutes.
Now, time for 7 weather with Jackie Johnson.
And good Monday morning. It is Memorial Day. The forecast for today looks like we're going to see an increase in clouds, and thunder showers look like they are going to return late in the day today. But this morning, off to a pretty good start. A few hours ago, had some wet weather out there, but now we are seeing some low clouds, but we are also seeing some sunshine. So highs today should make it into the mid-80s. Temperatures right now in the upper 70s to lower 80s. There's those showers that moved into the overnight, now basically moving out to the west. Still plenty of wet weather across the middle and lower Keys, moving in from the Atlantic, and there is more where that came from. An area of low pressure developing just to our east around the area of the Bahamas. And what's going to happen today is most of the wet weather from the system will be out to our east, so the heaviest amounts of rain will be to our east. But since this is an area of low pressure, the wraparound clouds from this will be moving into South Florida, and that means we will have cloudy and unsettled weather eventually today. But if you're wanting to head outdoors, do it into the morning hours. Not bad out there as of yet. Mostly cloudy skies for your forecast for today. Scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms. Highs into the mid-80s. We won't really see much of the wet stuff till late in the day. Thunder showers for tonight. Winds will be shifting coming out of the southeast, so not as breezy by tomorrow, but we can still expect anytime showers and plenty of clouds. Highs tomorrow around 86 degrees. Use caution out on the waters today. Northeast winds picking up to around 15 knots, 3 to 5 foot seas, but in the Gulf Stream up to 9 feet. So that's why they're under a small craft advisory there. Moderate chop on the base, so maybe not as bad as earlier this weekend, but still not a good day for the ocean waters. Also a possibility of rip currents because of the winds. Now come Wednesday, we'll see a better change in our weather pattern, more of a summer-like weather pattern with highs into the upper 80s. We will see the sunshine, but also see a chance of some showers and thunderstorms late in the day, late in the afternoon, and evening hours. But come Thursday into Friday, keeping a chance of a few isolated showers, but highs those days will be into the lower 90s. Have a great day.
Music fans trampled in a stadium stampede when a rapper's concert gets way out of control. That frightening and horrific scene unfolding as controversial rapper Eminem took the stage. Concertgoers bolting for the exit Saturday when a mosh pit crowd got so violent, fans started fearing for their lives.
People from the back were pushing in to see Eminem, and the people up front were just getting crushed, and everybody's on the floor.
A chaotic scene described by witnesses as a music festival continues, despite trouble on the stadium floor.
Let Eminem just come on, and then it just got even worse. Everybody was pushing. Everybody was trying to get a piece of Eminem. Security tried to come in. They pulled back because they wouldn't risk their lives or anything. They said, let the kids go. They wouldn't open the gates for anything.
By the time the moshers finally let up, the list of injuries was massive. 30 people hurt, 5 taken to hospitals, 1 even suffering a heart attack. That man now in critical condition.
Everything just kind of collapsed up there. There's people on the floor, they're laying down, there's blood everywhere. People out of breath, praying to God that it's just unimaginable.
Rapper Eminem urging the crowd to step back as emergency workers are rushed in to help. Witnesses say many people weren't aware those injured had fallen and kept on dancing.
People on top of me, and I thought I was going to die for sure.
Sounds like fun, doesn't it? And more trouble just yesterday at that same festival. A 20-year-old falling from the upper deck of RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C. He is now in critical condition. 20 others were also transported with injuries. Christine?
Okay, Charles, the time now is 8:20. A wild blaze burning out of control, closing in on hundreds of homes in Tucson, Arizona. A wildfire tearing through the Coronado National Forest in the southeastern part of the state. It has devoured more than 12,000 acres of land. Firefighters have only half that fire contained. Nearly 700 homes in the path of the blaze in danger of burning. An explosion rocking an Illinois neighborhood, leaving a vacationing family without a home to come back to. 100 emergency workers rushing to that scene. Officials investigating the matter say a natural gas leak may have caused the explosion. Indiana finally drying out after a night of raging storms. Strong winds leaving a trail of destruction, ripping trees from the ground and toppling power lines. Marble-sized hail pounding cars and homes. There are workers who didn't get the weekend off. Still to come this morning on Today in Florida, members of the governor's Blue Ribbon panel putting their heads together, collecting their findings and recommendations on the Department of Children and Families and how workers lost one little girl. Some of what they've come up with ahead.
South Florida voters casting their ballots this morning. A nation has a new president.
Plus, is O.J. on his way back to court? Former football star facing a possible custody challenge, and his kids are caught in the center of it all.
For more information on any of today's stories, go to 7 online at WSVN.com. Maternity clothes have come a long way. Whether they're trendy, classical, or glamorous, if you're expecting, why expect less from fashion?
Modern, not so conservative.
Before baby, find out how to stay fashion forward.
Tonight at 10
on 7 News.
tonight on 7 News First at 5.
This is Health Specialist Marilyn Mitchell. Do you suffer from chronic dizziness?
Everything is telling you, hey, you're spinning, but you know that you're not. Everything continues to move like this, like swirl.
But virtual relief may be in sight.
We're going to put the goggles on you.
A unique technique may help cure your dizzy dilemma. You're going to see it tonight at 5, only on 7 News.
24 minutes after the 8 o'clock hour, and the Blue Ribbon panel assigned by Governor Bush to look into the Willie Wilson case has just wrapped up their investigation and is now preparing a report. 7's Charles Perez with what they found and what they're recommending.
The search for the culprit, however, rightly should not point only toward DCF. It also should point toward the Florida legislature, which does not give...
Answering the outrage of people across Florida and around the nation, Governor Bush's Blue Ribbon panel working away the holiday weekend as it looks to find out just what went wrong and how the DCF could have lost a 5-year-old girl.
I think there's no question at all that there are several folks who need to be called to account for this.
The governor calling for the panel after learning of 5-year-old Willie Wilson of Miami, who was allegedly picked up by a DCF worker 16 months ago and hasn't been seen since. Now, after 6 hearings and a total of 57 witnesses, the panel of 4 has convened one more time to fine-tune its recommendations for the governor, though some question whether the system is even fixable.
They have for years created a system that is so ingrained in institutionalized fraud that I seriously believe that it will be years to come before we can undo the system and make it really accountable for the citizens of Florida.
One panel member saying the responsibility ultimately lies with Florida voters.
I think every single person that writes a check to a legislator, the first question they ought to ask them is, what are they going to do about this situation?
Now, among the recommendations, that caseworkers notify law enforcement when a child is missing, and also that criminal background checks be made before placing a child with that adult. In the Newsplex, I'm Charles Perez, today in Florida.
It is now 8:26. O.J. Simpson may be heading back to the courtroom, this time for a custody challenge. Nicole Brown Simpson's sister asking the court to review records of O.J.'s alleged drug binges, saying the former football star broke his custody agreement. In 1996, Simpson's 5-year custody battle with Brown's parents over the couple's 2 children ended. Now the children live with him in Kendall.
A Coral Springs family in mourning today after a 19-month-old baby takes a deadly dive into a swimming pool. The mother finding the baby and dialing 911 immediately, but not in time to save the infant. She was pronounced dead upon arrival at Coral Springs Medical Center.
A home in Hialeah bursting into flames, leaving a deaf woman and her autistic daughter without a place to stay. The blaze devouring the home at East 4th Avenue and 61st Street early yesterday. The mother and daughter escaping injury. Officials say a burning candle may be to blame.
8:26 and Colombia's new president-elect celebrating a victory at the polls this morning.
As 7's Diane Fernandez shows us, he's a hardliner promising some big reforms, and many here in South Florida are pretty happy about it.
It's a new beginning. That's why many Colombians here in South Florida and in their native country are celebrating the overwhelming victory of Álvaro Uribe in Colombia's presidential race Sunday. Uribe, a liberal turned independent candidate, is the first in the country's turbulent history to win the presidency without the support of a recognized political party. The former mayor and governor's promises of reform, legitimacy, and his vows to double forces in the fight against guerrilla rebels won him more than 50% of the vote in Colombia and over 90% of the vote here in South Florida.
We're expecting here finish with the violence we have actually in Colombia.
No more war in my country, no more kidnapping. Peace, only peace.
It's with dreams of peace that more than 11,000 Colombian nationals living in Miami-Dade County turned out to vote at 8 different precincts. One of them was in Hialeah, but the one with the biggest turnout was at the Colombian Embassy in Coral Gables. All their votes counted simultaneously with those of their countrymen in Colombia.
So the people in Florida have the same right as the people in Bogota or in Medellin or in Cali to spread the sentiment, and I think this is a very nice exercise for democracy.
Colombia's Consul General also pleased with what she saw. Everyone believes in democracy, and everyone wants to tell Colombian people that we want to have a peaceful country. Uribe edged out former Minister of the Interior Horacio Serpa for the right to replace President Andrés Pastrana. 7 News talked exclusively to Uribe a few weeks ago when he spoke to us about his dreams for a fresh start for his war-torn country.
I have to insist in my ideas to implement in Colombia a government of authority capable to contain criminals.
And that is a campaign promise the people of Colombia say they will definitely be holding Uribe to. The president-elect, by the way, scheduled to be inaugurated on August 7th. In downtown Miami, Dan Fernandez, Today in Florida.
And parents, it is the news you've probably been waiting for. If you're curious over your kids' FCAT scores, you will soon be able to see them. Test scores were sent last week to the state's 67 school districts. The districts will now distribute these results to parents. In addition to receiving this year's results, most of you will also get last year's FCAT results and a statement that compares the two.
It is now 8:29, and still to come this morning from the Newsplex, his hopes to be president falling short. Now one man looks to avoid prison after fleeing to freedom.
Plans moving ahead as crews work to salvage an ocean reef in the making. What's being done ahead?
And a new device that may do wonders for those hoping to regain their lost hearing. It is sound advice you need to know.
Coming up tonight on 7 News at 6.
I'm Patrick Frazier with a Help Me Howard to remember the veterans. This 5-foot-tall monument with the names of 250 men who served in World War II disappeared years ago, and now veterans want to find it. So these people who fought for this country won't be forgotten.
If it wasn't for those boys back there that saved us, we wouldn't be here today.
What happened to the memorial? Can it be found? You can help Me Howard tonight at 6 and 10 on 7 News.
Catch the Lexus Play of the Week, Sunday nights at 11 on 7 Sports Extra. Brought to you by your South Florida Lexus dealers. The relentless pursuit of perfection.
Time now for 7 traffic.
And as we strive to give you a new look at traffic each day, here's another one for you. This is Interstate 95 meeting US 1 coming at you. You're looking south from basically the downtown area. Things are moving along great along this stretch. Now on the Palmetto, which at this hour of the morning on the Palmetto would be backed up. That is not the case at this point. This view right here is of 95 at Cypress Creek Road in Broward County, which is no problem at all. Moving along to our next shot, this is the Palmetto where it meets the Dolphin. You can see very clear traffic southbound on the turnpike. We are dealing with debris on the highway in the area of Coral Reef, and 595 looks great this morning in Broward County. I'm Brian Freeman, 7 Traffic, back with another update at 8:45.
Now, time for 7 weather with Jackie Johnson.
Well, a great start to this Monday morning. There's a live look to downtown Miami. You can see some clouds in the background. We are going to see some wet weather, not till later on today. A nice breeze out of the east around 10. Those will pick up also, but then starting tomorrow it won't be as windy. Temperatures across the entire southeast, very mild this morning into the 60s in Atlanta, Charlotte, Charleston, 79 in Miami, 73 degrees in Tampa. Here's a look at the satellite picture. You can see the clear skies just out to our west, but take a look to our east. These will actually be affecting us later on today. An area of low pressure developing across the Bahamas. The wraparound clouds from this system will be moving into South Florida, and that's why we've got a chance for a few showers and thunderstorms later on today. Here's one of our computer forecast models developing the area of low pressure just to our east. You can see the heavy amounts of rain that have come along with that area of low pressure. So the bulk of the wet weather will be to our east. However, again, some of those will make their way here, so we can expect cloudy and unsettled conditions later on in the day. Also, not a great day for boating. I know most folks probably want to take out the boat on this Memorial Day. Moderate choppy conditions because of the winds. Small crafts need to exercise caution, and probably not the best day to go swimming because rip currents are likely once again. Your forecast for today, highs into the mid-80s, mostly cloudy skies. Scattered showers, a few thunderstorms, but not till later on in the day. Today, we've got nice conditions to start off with. Clouds and thunder showers will linger into the nighttime hours. Winds will be shifting coming out of the southeast tonight, so by tomorrow, should feel even more humid outside. Most tonight around 77 degrees, and for your Tuesday, much of the same, because that area of low pressure will stay out to our east, so plenty of clouds, anytime showers for tomorrow. and winds will also continue out of the southeast. Use caution out on the waters because winds will be out of the northeast up to 15 knots, 3 to 5 foot seas in the Gulf Stream up to around 9 feet, and that's why they are under a small craft advisory. Other than that, you can expect a moderate chop in the base, surf temperature 81 degrees. Now come Wednesday, starting to see a breakup in all this cloudy weather. 88 degrees for the high, maybe a thunderstorm here or there, but late in the afternoon into evening hours. Thursday and Friday, a chance of seeing some showers. We'll also see plenty of sunshine, but highs those days will get into the low 90s.
Beefed up security on South Beach with police hoping to avoid the last year's holiday violence. It's one of this morning's top stories. Authorities reporting only 66 people have been arrested so far, compared to the 211 arrests last year. There was one stabbing overnight inside Level nightclub. It was closed early, and the victim is expected to be okay. Overall, about 250,000 people have showed up for celebrations on South Beach. A deadly collapse in Oklahoma after a barge slams into an interstate bridge, causing a large span of the roadway to fall to the river. More than a dozen vehicles also dropping into the water, including a horse trailer. Officials think the captain of the barge may have had a seizure at the wheel. A salvage company planning to right a half-sunk Navy ship sticking out of the ocean this week. The Spiegel Grove going down prematurely 2 weeks earlier, throwing off plans to create an artificial reef into a tailspin. Crews now plan to sink the ship and then flip it on its side. And that's going to do it from here. Charles, Christine, back to you.
Okay, Delane, thank you very much. Wedding plans gone horribly wrong. Just ahead, the big day turning disastrous and deadly as a bus carrying wedding party members bursts into flames. The details behind this one ahead.
An ousted leader on the run, where he is seeking shelter in minutes.
I'm health specialist Marilyn Mitchell. A new improved implant that's helped Rush Limbaugh regain much of his hearing may one day help even more people. It's Sound Advice, and it's coming up on just one station.
7 News brought to you in part by Supra Telecom. Save your money, don't give it away.
Now, here's Hellcast with Marilyn Mitchell.
There is a new twist on an old implant that can help people with hearing problems. This new improved device can help many people hear even better. Listen to this sound advice for the hearing impaired.
I know you're watching now.
Talk show host Rush Limbaugh nearly went deaf. Now he doesn't miss a caller thanks to a hearing implant. Paula Fuller's hearing musical notes she hasn't heard in years. She also got an implant like Rush. Paula is one of a handful of patients testing out the short electrode implant. It's similar to the standard cochlear implant in a lot of ways. The difference, it goes less than half an inch into the ear compared to the normal distance of about an inch.
We've been successful in preserving hearing in 5 individuals. And in 2 individuals now, we've been able to enhance their word understanding in addition to making the sound louder for them.
The shorter distance seems to avoid damaging the inner ear and any hearing patients may still have. It also helps patients regain the most commonly lost sounds like T's, C's, and S's.
These people have an appreciation of music like a near normal hearing person, and they're able to understand speech better than they would with a hearing aid.
As for Paula, this new device has her hearing sounds most of us take for granted.
Hearing the phone ring in my own home, which if I don't have my implant on, I cannot hear the phone ring.
And it will make activities like going to the movies possible once again.
There you go. Thank you.
Patients should use this new device combined with their hearing aid to get the best results. I'm Marilyn Mitchell, 7 News.
It is now 8:41. A deadly wreck ruining one couple's wedding day. Just ahead this morning, guests meeting a tragic fate after a bus gets tangled in power lines.
Pope John Paul pressing onward despite reports of frail and failing health, where he may not be going on his next papal visit next.
Then, shaping up and feeling great. 7's fitness expert with some tips for toning and tightening. We're coming right back.
Now, time time for 7 weather with Jackie Johnson.
And we're off to a nice start on this Memorial Day morning. Earlier on, we had a few showers, but now most of the wet weather just mainly around the Keys. Temperatures this morning into the upper 70s to lower 80s. Here's that radar. Saw most of the wet weather in Monroe counties. Now the showers just extending from the middle to lower Keys, but seeing plenty of sunshine here in Miami and Palm Beach County and Broward County. Just seeing a few low clouds. We will be seeing an increase in clouds and showers later on today, all because of this system out to our east. This is actually a developing area of low pressure. You can see plenty of moisture with it. The wraparound from this area of low pressure will pull in the clouds and the showers into our area. Here's one of the forecast models, which brings heavy amounts of rain with this area of low pressure. Most of the rain will stay out to our east, so very good news there, except we will still have the overcast conditions and the unsettled weather as just some showers and some clouds will move in behind that. So we can expect a day just like yesterday, just some clouds out there, maybe looking like it's going to rain, and then come late afternoon to the evening hours, we could see some showers and some thunderstorms. So that is your forecast for today. Mostly cloudy skies eventually, but a great morning, highs into the mid-80s. Now tonight, we'll continue to have that chance of some wet weather, but the winds will be shifting, coming out of the southeast rather than the northeast and the east. So that means humidity will be on the rise as warmer air will be pulled up into South Florida. Highs tomorrow 86, partly cloudy skies. Anytime showers, we could see showers in the morning and nighttime hours because of that area of low pressure just out to our east. So you definitely want to use caution out of the waters today because of the winds, still causing a problem with rip currents up to around 15 knots, 3 to 5 foot seas, and a moderate chop on the bays. Wednesday, we should start seeing improving conditions, more of a summer-like pattern with the sunny skies and then seeing a chance of a thunderstorm or two late in the day, highs around 88 degrees. But come Thursday to Friday, it is going to get warm out there. We're going to see highs around 90 degrees. We will see the sunshine, but we'll also keep a chance of just a few showers into the pictures. Lows will stay into the 70s. Have a great Memorial Day.
Time now for 7 traffic.
And we're taking a look at the Palmetto. The southbound direction this hour of the morning would be all backed up. It certainly is not the case now. In fact, it looks good through all the construction, both north and southbound in this section of Miami-Dade near Hialeah. Take a look at US 1 as it meets up with 95. This long shot, you can see a few cars, but really no problem at all. And in Broward County, as you gaze at 95 at Cypress Creek Road, we have an accident now reported. Flipped over vehicle northbound 95 on the exit ramp to Sample Road. I'm Brian Freeman, 7 Traffic, hoping you don't eat too much potato salad.
Topping world news this morning, a wedding tragedy in northern India. A bus carrying 80 members of a wedding party bursting into flames after running into a high-voltage power line. At least 19 people on the bus were killed, some of the victims electrocuted, others burning to death. The bride and groom riding in a separate car were not hurt. The Colombian government granting asylum to Pedro Carmona, briefly installed as president of Venezuela during a short-lived coup last month. This after Carmona slipped away from house arrest in Caracas on Thursday, fleeing to the home of the Colombian ambassador in Caracas. Carmona denies conspiring to overthrow Hugo Chávez's government, saying he accepted the presidency because he believed Chávez had resigned. And Pope John Paul II back at the Vatican this morning. The Pope is scheduled to meet with President Bush tomorrow, 2 days after a tiring trip to Bulgaria. His frail health showing throughout his 96th foreign tour, and the 82-year-old pontiff suggesting to reporters that there may not be many more of those trips. That'll do it from here. Charles, back over to you.
Okay, Christine, an actor being honored. Just ahead, Clint Eastwood collecting another award for his contributions to the entertainment industry. Attack of the Clones is still in the theaters, and the man behind the Star Wars saga already shooting scenes for his next blockbuster. We're going to tell you about that. Plus, targeting a problem area. 7 News shaping up and slimming down. We're back in 2.
Tonight on 7 News First at 10.
I'm Belkis DeRay. There was a time when pregnant women used to hide their bodies. Not anymore. Moms-to-be are fashion-forward, too.
I love showing. It's like, I didn't think I'd like the big belly, but with these clothes, you just feel so pretty.
Get the look when we go fashion-forward tonight on 7 News First at 10.
Fox tonight. Should a teacher defend a student accused of statutory rape?
This was consensual.
We love each other.
The hit series Boston Public. Then relive the moment when Allie and Victor first met.
The house works, right?
The electricity's good.
I beg your pardon?
Allie McBeal. It all starts at 8/7 Central tonight on Fox. Donna writes a tell-all in the school paper exposing Eric's secrets.
Wow, that's good writing. It's emotional and it screws you.
That 70s show at 8/7 Central, Fox Tuesday.
Welcome back. The time now is 8:52. In People News this morning, actor Clint Eastwood getting set to receive yet another accolade. The screen veteran is expected to be honored during the Maui Film Festival next month. Eastwood receiving the honor for his creative cinema contributions.
It's going to be a real pleasure.
In California, the script isn't quite finished, but director George Lucas has already scheduled production for his next galaxy tour. Star Wars Episode 3 is expected to focus more on the dark side of the Force. Production is set to begin in summer of 2003.
The glitz and glamour of the Cannes Film Festival coming to a close, but not before handing out the big prize. Film director Roman Polanski taking first place honors and the coveted Palme d'Or for his film The Pianist. The film is about the Holocaust.
Well, 7 minutes before the 9 o'clock hour, and make no buts about it, one problem area everybody complains about is the backside.
This morning, some tips for tightening that tush. Here's 7 fitness expert Ellen Latham.
Unfortunately, guys, these beautiful chairs are not here for you to sit on. We're going to be working the back ends that you are sitting on right now with these chairs. Okay, we're going to do some single leg lunges using chairs. Now, Anna, we know that women love great looking behinds because what? It just looks better, right? Kind of defies gravity. Guys might be interested in this because you want more muscle balance, right? Not just have all that muscle from the waist up. Let's work the glutes. So we're going to put the front of the foot on the chair. You're going to go down into a one-legged lunge here. Now, as you're doing this, guys, make sure this knee stays over the ankle and come on up. Now, what I like about this move is the lunge is a great exercise for the back end, the back of the thighs, gang. But sometimes when you place the foot down, the knee placement is a little awkward. Here, it's locked in position, okay? There's no chance of error. So every time these guys go down and hit this move, they're assured that they're hitting the right fibers. Now, about 10 to 12 of these. Can't do a lot of them, huh? Okay, you're pushing your heel into the floor, and then you would kind of just relax and come on off of that, guys. Now, they have perfect posture. Things I want you guys to pay attention to is keeping the spine nice and tall, right? Pushing into the heel, focusing on the muscle that you're working. So we know you're going to start, James, working the glutes. You work your glutes in your weight training?
I try to.
You try to, okay. We're going to make sure that you do that. And, you know, us girls, we don't have to worry about it. We're always working our glutes. Okay? This is Ellen Latham for 7 News.
Well, they may have been born to be wild, but this weekend they're honoring our nation's heroes.
Just ahead this morning, thousands of cyclists converging on the Capitol, coming together to honor veterans and victims of the attacks on America. The Rolling Thunder Ride for Freedom paying homage to members of the military this weekend, particularly those lost or killed during Vietnam.
More than 200,000 motorcycle riders gathered in Washington, D.C. for this event.
And that'll do it for today in Florida, 8 o'clock. Thanks for watching. I'm Christine Cruz.
And I'm Charles Belay. Be sure to join us later today for 7 News at noon. Have a good one.